everybody. This is your host, Nupur, and welcome to the Showstoppers. I'm extremely pleased to introduce our guest for today. It's none other than Mr. Deepak, PA. For those who don't know, Mr. Deepak is an award-winning artist, mixing engineer, and a record producer as well. Thank you so much for connecting with us today, Deepak. We're extremely excited to have you.
Hi, Nupur. Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hello. How are you doing?
All good.
Yeah.
Going in slow-mo on a paused world.
Yeah. How has the last 2 years been?
Yeah,
Are you still reeling from it?
Basically, literally, the industry was actually on pause mode, as I said.
Yeah.
Thankfully, like few of the projects were there, and like one complete album, we finished it in 1 year.
That's amazing. During lockdown.
Yes. So Sarangi was in Jaipur. Bass guitarist was actually stuck in Assam. Like singers were stuck wherever they were, like so.
Their hometowns.
Correct. So Jonita was somewhere in Canada. Like everyone was far away. So we mostly tried to do as much as possible without without any mess. So whoever has got a studio, they had gone to the nearest studio. Otherwise, mostly everyone tried to work from their houses and all that way.
Yeah, I think that's become the new norm, right? In the music industry, everyone's doing whatever
all
they
the
can.
Industries actually. Now suddenly, if they are suddenly like even for kids also working from, like say, studying from home, and suddenly they're going to to the new norms. The old school is not like that. Like how we were.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like after the school bell rings, everyone used to run and all. So all those memories will be memories only. Now the new normal to be taken care. Yeah.
Absolutely. Deepak, I'm extremely excited to speak to you today actually, because you're not only an acclaimed artist and engineer, but also you have a Grammy to your name. So, of course, at some point, we'd like to talk about your journey to the Grammy as well. But before that, I'd like to know a little bit, if you could just tell us what your earliest, introduction or influence to music was. How did music become a part of your life?
Basically, the music, like right from my dad, he was actually his research was actually in agricultural folk songs.
Wow.
So which is all straight to the mitti, like so right from the starting, like while people are going onto the farms, while they're actually cutting the rice farm, or when their plantation process is happening, then they basically they sing some kind of chants and all. So all those he used to basically for research, he used to go and record it and get it up. So he used to play that when I was literally a kid, so 1-2 years old types. So since then I used to like the folk music and all. So later on, when the film circuit came, like so then I started loving all Ilayaraja sir's work, because I'm Andhra guy, Telugu guy. So all the Telugu music that time was all between 80s. Everything was like Ilayaraja sir or RD Verma.
Yes.
So and that was like mostly towards this thing, like say. Mainly their instrument used to be guitar. So I learned. I wanted to learn guitar, and also few of my dad's research guys who used to come from US for exchange program. So they used to get polygram CDs, cassettes actually, ABBA and all the old
classics.
Correct. So they used to get it. So eventually I said, like, can I keep it? And also they used to give me all those, like including all the old Michael Jackson cassette tapes and all. That's how actually I've got accustomed to that music and all. So then later on, when I was 7 and all, then some of my dad's friends, they they said, and it's good to have a early learning process for a kid, so who's having some interest and all. So my dad being a Telugu professor and lots and lots, he have done like a board of chairman of senior secondary education and all those sides. But the thing is, he never told that you have to do a doctor, engineer, or something. Just go.
Oh, that's amazing.
Whatever you feel that way.
Yeah.
That's parents' encouragement is really important, like that way.
Sure.
Thankfully now, because IPL is doing well, so if someone is playing cricket, they will not say, "Arey, bahar hi baithta hai," that scene is not there. So it's always good.
That's true. And I think in a lot of any field that's related to art, whether it's musicians or actors, you often hear about these stories where sadly maybe the family was not supportive and they had to sort of fight that battle first before
fight or run away from home, or all those stories. But the thing
that's actually really amazing to hear that your family was super supportive of that.
So and like me, I'm in this side. My brother is actually, he is into very good studying and all, so he is into IIM. He finished IIM and all those.
Wow.
So he's a bookworm. So
so
of course, mom and dad, they both have to encourage it for any field that way.
Sure, as long as you're doing it with the passion and you're doing it with sincerity.
Put it 100% interest and all, then it's always good. Yeah.
Absolutely. I also watched a couple of your other interviews, and as you also mentioned right now, you started with playing the guitar, right? And I think at some point you also were pursuing guitar, and you had gone for sessions as a guitarist.
Right.
So how did you make that change and meander into sound? How did you get fascinated with that?
See, the thing is, guitarist means, like, say you have at some point you need to have a reality check. So so the thing is, if imagine there are about 10 guitarists in one city, and in India it will be about 20 cities, good places. So there's lots of competition and all. So what happened is, like, there is a studio in Vizag. So I joined there. So then I came to know that the engineer used to be there. He left, and all the gear is actually digital and all. So, and I haven't learned any computers and all, unless only in the school there used to be little computers, C+ and all. Otherwise, nothing else. And recording engineering is very in depth towards what is this thing called?
It's quite
physics,
technology, and science based.
So it's all basically, a lot of people, either they are into very they know lots of science behind the sound, or they know lots of they are very good musical from musical family. But the thing is, both have to meet to be a very good engineer, successful engineer, because to communicate people like Ranjit Barot or Rahman sir or any musician, when you are recording them, it's all very say, not just musical, it is technically you have to be really strong that way.
Sure.
So I used to learn from the manuals and everywhere, wherever possible. And the internet was literally 56 kilobytes dial-up network.
Right.
It's slower than a very bad network, whatever we are getting on the phone.
Yeah.
So that's how. So that is how download all the PDF files to learn everything. So
in the age of no YouTube videos and no tutorials, nothing.
Now the generation is literally blessed, like tip of the finger, everything is available.
Yeah, absolutely. I also wanted to talk about the fact that you've probably worked with some of the biggest names, not just in the South music industry, but also in Bollywood. How did you, what was your approach when you came to, Bombay and met the Bollywood industry, and how did you sort of foray into that? And was there a difference that you felt as a musician in terms of working, back home or and then working here?
See, like what happens is whenever you work, see, that's what I said, na, reality check. So when I was in Vizag, and there, and eventually it was like one or two engineers only.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and when you have only two or three as a competition, then it is not good. You need to have more,
Right.
and then only the healthy competition happens. If there is like only
Right.
three people, and the demand, if the demand is not very tight, and whatever you demand, people would pay. That is good.
Right.
But when when I was like 19 and 20 years, and I was getting good pay, and people will say, "Arey, you're getting very good pay and all. You be in Vizag only. Why are you going somewhere else and taking the giant leap that way?" So I spoke to one of the great flautists called Naveen Anna. We call him Naveen Anna. So Naveen Kumar. So he is the player who played Bombay theme and everything for most of the flute parts for Rahman sir, like including Airtel flute theme and everything. Right. So I called him, Anna, like this is what I'm feeling. It's like a frog in a well. So I need some upgrade. How we upgrade softwares like that.
Want to upgrade my life.
Yeah. So it's like even if I'm getting less pay also, it is fine. I just want to learn and experience whatever the people who are doing around the world that way.
Sure.
So I came and had met Salim Suleiman and Ranjit Bharat sir. So both I met. So they said like it's really good to see you, and you can we will inform you. So I went back to Vizag, and I was like little what is called excited that I met them, and at the same time discouraged that I could not get any job and all. Then after within 1 year, then again 1 month they called me and said, Ranjit sir called me and said, can you come? There's one film happening in the middle, and you need to work on that, and we'll see what all happening after that. That way.
Yeah.
So I worked, and like I didn't even see where I need to live and all, stay and all. So for the 2-3 days till the movie was completed, I was literally staying in the studio only, like that way. Studio, and there's like one more engineer is there. His house was nearby, so I was going there and till everything was sorted that way.
Would you say that was your struggle? Would you say that was a period where you were transforming, or it was a transformational?
No, it's like more like proving myself. Because see, now the thing is, for every job there's like a permanent and temporary job. It's like that, right?
Sure.
So for this movie I came, and after that we don't know, like if he doesn't like, then he will kick me out, that mode. Right. And knowing Ranjit sir's like voice and all, it's like very strong.
Yeah.
So that was the thing, and that movie was Mehuna. So that was the first film in Mumbai. So I was doing all the background score recording and dubbing all those final. So it's like literally about another 1 week or 10 days the movie will go and get over that way.
And would you say, was that your first was that your break, or would you consider that as a major sort of milestone in your career?
Milestone in the terms as see, the thing is it's about proving ourselves. Like it might be even if it's not a big film or small film. Now that actually gave me a visa towards Mumbai, the Bollywood industry that way.
Yes.
So then, but the thing is, see, while working, it's never we should never think that will be a biggest movie.
Absolutely.
Or who is the star cast and all. You just need to put your 100% towards that way. So that was the scene. Then literally I went and searched for houses and all. So I used to live in literally bang opposite to the beach in Vizag. And in Mumbai, bang opposite to the beach is like Worli Sea Face and all. I said, okay, this is not affordable for...
Bombay beaches and other places, beachfront, there's a huge gap, I think.
Right. So that time I was a YMCA member. So I stayed in YMCA for 6 months in Kolaba. That way. So that was like actually learning about Mumbai, how it works and all those train and all. it's a good experience though.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Now, when you look back on it, it must be,
Yeah.
a great journey for you. Yeah.
Right.
So tell me, how did you? I'm very intrigued to know, how did you come about Rahman sir? How did Slumdog happen? How did the Grammy happen? Like, what's the story?
It's basically most of Rahman sir's Mumbai recordings used to happen in Nirvana, where Ranjit sir's studio is there. So that's called as Nirvana. So there I used to work as an engineer.
Yeah.
So almost morning Sanu Malik ji and all Bollywood stuff used to happen. Yeah. And night Rahman sir used to come after 10, 11 o'clock in the night. So some of the times I used to literally sleep in the studio to accommodate both and sometimes.
Both timings.
Yeah. Or morning engineer used to be there, and night I used to come and work from 7 o'clock to morning 7 or till whenever I used to work that way. So that's how he saw me working and all. So one fine morning again I said like, okay, we need to from the permanent salaried employee, I wanted to again do a freelance side, and I wanted to record. I wanted to mix for work for many people and all that way. Those days, like I used to literally record at Ranjit sir's studio and mix background scores at Salim Suleiman studio. Like one of the first background score was like Mujhse Shaadi Karoge.
Right.
And, like almost like Wanted, what is Salman Khan's Wanted, like many films, like whatever they have done. So for Chak De, some of the songs were recorded at Ranjit sir's studio and drums and all like that. So it was like.
And while working for Slumdog, you must have never imagined, right, the response and the heights that the film would go to, and the accolades that came your way after that.
Yeah. See, the thing is, when we were working, there were like two big films, massive films were happening. One was Gajni and one was one more film. I think two films, Yuvraj. Yeah. So two films were working, and every engineer, every music producer was busy in those films. And Rahman sir said, while I think I finished music programming, I do additional programming also. So I said, like, okay, this film is there by Danny Boyle, so just look into it. And he didn't even allow me to listen to the audio and all. You just see the visuals, and whatever you feel, just watch it that way.
Yeah.
So it was like that only. I was never into like this is a movie or something.
And it's like it's going to be big, so I should work on it.
See, all works. This is the way we need to go through that. So
absolutely, as an artist, you have to keep that aside.
So once the movie was like fully done and we finished the cues, and he said we don't have time. We need to send it off to festivals and all. And since all were busy, there were only 3 engineers in the this thing, and the rest were like, I was sitting in one small studio, Chennai only, a small studio, and like a lot of people were like, say there are like Dolak and tablas were happening in Mumbai, like Shadab, and like so many people were recording that.
Yeah.
So they used to send like Alkaji and Ilaji used to sing from somewhere and send it. It was actually, Slumdog was actually like how now it is happening, like COVID situation like that.
Yes, totally like virtual, and
everyone were doing it from everywhere, and Rahman sir used to be on Skype and all that way. So within
lovely.
I think 1 month amazing. We finished the whole part that way.
It's beautiful. Okay, Deepak, it's been amazing speaking to you. Before we sign off, I just want to know, what are your plans now? What are you working on, and what can we look forward to from you?
Actually, COVID has taught us so much that like the thing is, when the movies are not happening, like in India, the movie like the main music business is actually industry is running only because film industry, and the secondary is like the like when we used to be like maybe about 90s, there used to be Magna Sound and all, lots of Pia Basanti and all came. Like,
correct.
so people like even Shans, Kanha Dil, all these.
Lucky Ali,
correct.
And, who all,
Correct. So when the independent music was really good at that time, now people are like too based on film. But this 2 years have taught so much that there is other than that, there is OTT, there is like independent music. So they have grown so much that. But the thing is, at the same time, revenues have to be taken care that way.
Sure.
So now a lot of albums which I'm doing it, either they are actually without any label. Few are actually
it's completely independent.
Even searching for NFT, cryptocurrency, how we have to promote our albums there in US or whoever is there. So now a lot of albums are going into that mode. Like, so not just relying on Indian market and all that.
Right. For the people who want to get into audio engineering, who want to get into sound right now, seeing the state of affairs in the world, what do you think would be the best way forward, since resources are limited, work is limited, everything sort of, come to a halt? So what would your advice be? Where do you see this going for the audio industry?
So basically what is the thing is like, due to this pandemic and all, there's like so much of things to learn, not just how to live a life and getting into the savings and a lot of people, but younger generations, they had like lots of time learning. Like say, even myself, like say there was like so many new technologies were there, like binaural, spatial audio, and so many things. Dolby Atmos music has come, where within the headphones, Apple Music and many music platforms, they are playing Dolby Atmos or a spatial sound. Now internet is so far, so nearby that even unreached elements can be get. And like I've been giving lots of web educations, webinars and all. So few of my students are there, like one is in London and one is in Muscat. So so basically what happens, he keeps on we keep on doing Zoom calls, and I keep teaching them what all are there. So same way, like say lot of good singers, good musicians, they are taking web online classes. It's always good, like say, instead of wasting time, school is not there, college is not there. Now they are actually only doing about 4 to 5 hours in the school or college. So rest of the hours you can actually develop your hobbies and make it a very good
capitalize on the time that we've been given. That will be nice. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, Deepak. Thank you so much for connecting with us today and taking our time to speak with us on Showstoppers. And have a lovely evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Hi, guys. It's very good to connect with this Showstoppers, and it'll be really inspirational for many young generation and all. Like I've seen, I heard that Ranjit sir and many composers and musicians in the music industry are in this part, and it's very good to touch base with Nupur and Kshitij. It's really cool. So I'm like looking forward to watch the other interviews and everything. It'll be very cool.